What's up, everybody? This is LaughNapkin, and today I'll be reading a handful of stories from r/PettyRevenge. This is a new one to this channel, so I hope you all enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. Now let's just jump right into it. Wanna be an a-hole and try to force me out of a public parking spot? I can be even more petty than you. A few weeks ago, I was out in the city running some errands. I got to a little downtownish area when I stopped to get something to eat. I parked on a parking strip that was in some little neighborhood. There's restaurants and apartments everywhere, so I was lucky to find a spot. After getting my meal, I go back to my car and started to eat. About 5 minutes later, I hear honking. I look in my mirror and some guy is on the street, presumably honking at me. I look in my rear view and there's obviously no place to park. I can't move up or back as I'm in between two cars. I ignore him. 5 minutes more pass and he's still there. He comes up to my window and knocks on it rudely. I roll it down and ask him what the hell he wants. He asks how long I'm going to be and that he needs to park there because it's right beside his home. Shocked at the entitlement, I asked him if this was public parking. He said yes, so I told him to piss off and shut the door on him. He kept swearing and insulting and eventually walked off. I didn't go into more detail because I don't think that I have to explain to a grown man why rudely asking someone to move from a parking spot is not appropriate. If he had asked nicely, I might have considered. He had to go park across the street. I don't understand why he didn't just do that before. Anyways, I got his license plate and I've been calling the city over the last 2 weeks every other day complaining about somebody parking for too long. There's a 3-hour limit on public streets. He doesn't want to use the parking lot behind his apartment because it's too dirty, I assume. Last time I went back to that same area, I saw a ticket on his windshield. Use my stuff after I asked you to stop? Have fun with your rash. I'm very serious about skincare and not sharing anything that touches my skin with anyone. So my sister lives with me. She has all her own beauty products and she buys more weekly. On her first day here, she uses my facial brush. I was slightly angry, but I just asked her to stop and assumed she would. She didn't. So I bought a new brush head. And she found that and used it. Also, she's using my $40 facial scrub, so that's irritating me further. I decided to buy a whole new brush. She found that and used it too. I lied and said that I used it on my bum, thinking it would make her stop. It didn't. And hiding my stuff wasn't working anymore either. I started plotting. My sister is mildly allergic to tree nuts. Just so happens that my mom loves eating almonds and pecans. I asked her to stop using my stuff one more time, and she says, "It's just soap and a brush. Wash it off." So I took the almonds and I rubbed them all over the brush. I was pretty much just cleaning the almonds with the brush at this point. The next morning, my sister comes in my room with a huge rash on her face and hands. I lied and told her I was using almond soap and she starts cussing me out. I tell her, well, you really could have just washed it off. She moved out, not because of this, and now I don't have to worry about people using my stuff. To those asking about the morality of the situation, it wasn't her stuff and she was told many times not to use it. And as far as my sister's allergies, she's been exposed often and the worst it's been is a burning sensation on her lips. I do understand that these kind of things are unpredictable, but she constantly puts herself at risk by consuming nuts. I didn't see any problem with giving her some at the time. Threaten the safety of my kids? Expect retaliation. We lived in the country. My boy, 10 to 12, liked to ride his motorcycle around a track he'd made, 2 to 3 times a week after school for about half an hour. We didn't know yet, but the 2 guys who bought the place across the road didn't like the noise. Fair enough, I would have worked out a compromise if I'd known. They were about 400 meters away. One day, my boy comes in to tell me that someone had come onto the property in the night and sprinkled thousands and thousands of nails all around his track. This is extremely dangerous as the bike throws roost up behind. Took him weeks to pick them all up. I went across the road and asked if there was a problem with the bike riding. They said no, and I got the feeling they were lying to me. I told them we'd figure out a compromise, but they said it was cool. I asked if it was them who'd thrown the nails. No! Bear in mind, the next nearest neighbors were 4 to 5 kilometers away, well out of earshot. Next thing I know, the council calls to say they had complaints from neighbors about the noise. Wouldn't say who, but these guys were the only neighbors close enough to hear. I said I'd spoken to them and they assured me it was no problem. Told the council guy about the nails, but he wouldn't take any action. He said he'd fine me if we didn't stop riding. I told him to take me to court, but never heard back from them. Months later, the neighbor comes over and tells me they're selling, and would I stop the boy from riding when they had an open house? I said, come clean about the nails and we'll talk. He ummed and uh'd, but wouldn't answer. I told him I didn't want the buyers to think that they were coming to a quiet country area, and that if the boy wasn't riding, I would. Kept an eye out and I got the bike out every open house. The new neighbors were fine and had boys of their own who loved to come and ride on our track. Got 'em both. My first husband was very emotionally abusive and it got physical twice. I didn't leave. I loved him. Then he cheated and I was devastated. I filed for divorce. I guess his new relationship wasn't all he thought it would be. He begged me to take him back. I told him I wanted him to dump her in front of me. Before you get it twisted, she wasn't innocent. She knew he was married. We'd met on friendly terms several times. I set her up with her husband. Yes, she cheated on her husband with mine. I still feel guilty about setting them up. He agreed. I watched. I saw her face crumple. I watched her heart break. Then I said, bye-bye. He sent texts asking, what about his second chance? I said, I didn't say you were getting one. I just said I wanted to watch you dump her. Insist I'm in the wrong seat and refuse to move? I can play that game. I don't travel very often. It's even more uncommon for me to fly. Therefore, when I do fly, I always like to get a window seat. So last week when I was boarding my flight, I was frustrated when I came to my seat and this lady was in my seat. Her and her friend were sitting in the window and middle seat while the aisle seat was open. Thinking she was just confused, I asked her, "Hey ma'am, I'm sorry, but I think you're in my seat." "This is my seat, kid. You're reading it wrong." I'm in my early 20s and definitely have a baby face. I'm kind of mad now and I go to show her my boarding pass. Actually, I have my ticket right here and it says, she interrupts me. "I do this way more often than you, kid, so sit down in your seat there." I am livid, but I don't want to hold the whole plane up, so I quietly sit down and simmer. While I'm sitting there, I overhear her and her friend mention how tight their connection flight is in DFW and how they're worried they won't get off the plane quick enough. Checkmate, you seat-jacking horrible person. So I sit back and enjoy the flight. Anytime I want to look out the window, I careen over their laps in a way that is super uncomfortable for everyone because I will be getting the view I paid for, thank you very much. Then, when we land, I get my petty revenge. I take my sweet time getting my bag out from under my seat. Stand up slow and stretch. I insist that the 2 rows behind us go before I do. seeing as the two worst players of aviation musical chairs in the nation can't get out till I do. I walk slow down the aisle and shake both flight attendants' hands on my way out. The girls ran out of there as soon as we rounded the corner. I felt great. The Petty Poop Revenge. So, one of the most satisfying events occurred today, just now. I work in a medical clinic downstairs from a dentist's office. I have been working in this clinic for many years, and by now all the health professionals know each other in the building by first name basis. The dentist upstairs is hiring, and there have been multiple dentists interviewing upstairs with the head doc. Well, there is a bathroom upstairs and downstairs, and after lunch and afternoon coffee, I needed to use the bathroom to take a quick dump. Screw me, right? All of a sudden, the bathroom door swings open and in comes a pair of shoes who starts pulling on the singular stall I'm in. Random man, hey, hurry up. I don't have all day. I'm a doctor and I need this bathroom. Me, there's a bathroom upstairs. Random man, just hurry up and we won't have any issue. I have an interview in 10 minutes and I'm very important. After this, I take another 2 minutes to finish up what my body had started. This guy huffing and puffing the entire time right outside my stall. After exiting the stall, he states, "Finally, God!" This is where the magic happens. As I'm washing my hands, I hear the pants come down and a watery, disrupted poop spray into the bowl. I begin to exit the bathroom, but before I do, I say, "Oh, this stall is out of toilet paper now." Thank you so much for watching my video. I really enjoyed making it. Don't forget to tell me what you think about these stories and submit your own story in the comment section below. See you guys in the next video.